We're going to be seated, lying down, whatever position you want to be in, really. Lying down is probably the easiest one. Easiest on the body. And if you're lying down, just maybe have the legs bent just to ease the lower back. And if you're in that position, just shuffle the feet around until you can find a place where the leg muscles are completely relaxed but the knees remain pointing up towards the ceiling. So it might involve relaxing the legs, finding the knees move, and then having to shuffle the feet, and maybe doing this a few times until you find a good position. And in whatever position you're in, just start to feel the ground beneath you. And feel each point of contact. And then just start to notice your breath. Don't change it, just notice. Notice how it is today. Tempo, depth, evenness, textures. Just observing all that you can notice without any judgment. And you might even notice that just the act of watching the breath, maybe the breath starts to change without you doing anything. And maybe it doesn't. And then just start to, if it's comfortable for you, just drawing the breath down a little deeper into the body, towards the belly, taking longer, slower inhales and exhales. And just notice how that makes you feel. Begin to gently turn your head from side to side, nice and slowly, and just observing how the neck feels. And then just rest the head in the center. And then interlace your fingers and then bring them underneath the head. And then just let the body relax into this new position. And then with the eyes open, keep the head completely still as you look to the right. So the eyes move to look to the right, the head stays still. And you're just holding them there, keeping the body relaxed and just allowing whatever happens to happen, if anything wants to happen. And then slowly bring your eyes back to the centre and then over to the left side, same thing. Eyes move to the left and you're just holding them there. And then bringing the eyes back to the centre, releasing the hands, just placing them wherever's comfortable. And again, once more, turning the head from side to side. Again, observing the neck and how it feels. And then eventually resting the head in the centre. So we'll be exploring effortlessness. Your true nature is effortless. But even in becoming effortless, we can get sort of trapped into making that an effort as well. But the whole idea is to be as effortless as possible, and then all naturally sort of reveals itself, really. So just start to notice your body. And even though you're still, just see if you can find areas where there is effort perhaps being made. And this effort will be habitual, so it might be quite difficult to be aware of. Common areas are in the hips, in your stomach, chest, shoulders, and the face. So just moving around the body with your attention. What you might notice is just simply becoming aware of the effort in a particular area. The effort might fade. It's when the effort goes unnoticed that it remains. And now start to think about yourself in relation to the ground. So as human beings, we kind of, well, we have a sense of separation, that we are separate. And that in itself is a form of effort. It's an actual effort to be separate, almost. If you think of yourself, you are in human form a contracted state of consciousness. So that contraction is an effort. So your relationship with the ground right now. See if you can almost melt into the ground, so that you don't get a sense of I and ground, just a sense of complete union with the ground. Think of becoming like water. So you take the same form as whatever you touch. You mould around it. So although the floor or the ground may be completely flat, just try and feel the body moulding into the ground. At the same time, the ground moulding around the body. And try to notice that the body might start to feel like it's making even less effort. As it becomes increasingly relaxed. No separation between yourself and the environment. And then the common effort of thought or thinking. So in your head, attempt, I don't know how good you are all at maths, so it doesn't really matter, it'll be a challenge, whatever. So, I don't know, 14 times 17, just working this out in the head. And notice the effort. And then we'll do the same as last week, where you'll think of a sentence that you want to say, which is neutral, not good, not bad. So for the example last week was, my name is ... Start saying a sentence in your mind. And then start to slow the sentence down, so that space occurs between the words. And then try to just notice the spaces between the words. Try and notice the difference in effort between that space and the words themselves. And if you can't notice anything, don't worry, this is all quite subtle. And then keep trying to extend that space between the words. And if that space eventually gets filled by thoughts, you're not fighting against that, you're not making effort. You're just noticing that that space gets filled. And now start to give sounds around you, and we'll bring sounds around you into your awareness. And start by going around your environment, labeling each sound. At the same time as doing this, just gently trying to notice any feeling of effort involved. Noticing as well as you're labeling the sounds, how they probably feel quite separate to yourself. They feel like they occur outside of yourself. And then start to just experience sound. So you're not trying to pick out any sounds around you. You are just hearing. And then notice when you are just hearing, where does that experience occur? So the only activity is the activity of hearing. Where is that happening? Do the sounds seem outside of yourself, or do they seem to be experienced inside of yourself. And you're not trying to use thought here, you're just trying to use your observations of your current experience. And there is no right or wrong to this. Now return back to your body. And again, just scanning the body, noticing if any effort has crept in. It may now be that you're more sensitive to noticing effort and can maybe notice areas that you didn't previously. Particularly in the face, that area makes an effort all day long to show expression. And then start to just feel the whole body at once rather than trying to narrow focus down into certain areas. And observe whether this feels less effort. And you'll once again make the movement of the head turning from side to side, but as effortless as possible. And then notice if the neck feels any different to the times that you're doing it before. You don't have to move the neck all the way in any form of full range of movement. It might just be a tiny movement from side to side, or it could be all the way, and everything in between. And then resting the head back to the center. And then you'll just be watching out for any effort that creeps in. So thinking, narrowing attention onto something, or bringing an object into our attention. Effort in the body. And each time you notice an effort, it's not to be judged or criticized. You're just noticing, oh, that's what an effort feels like. God, I'm doing this all day long, making all this effort. And then we'll start to make some more movement. So if you're lying down, have the legs bent if they're not already. And just try to allow both knees to move over into the same direction effortlessly. If you're seated, you're just moving the spine from side to side or rotating side to side. So the knees are going one direction and then the other, or you're rotating the spine one direction and then the other. Just noticing any bits of effort that you can let go of in the movement. And of course, all movement requires some element of effort. Just try to reduce that as much as possible. And then eventually you'll be coming to rest. And sometimes to understand things we have to almost play around with extremes. So the next time that you inhale, you're going to be tensing every muscle in the body. And then naturally exhale and relax every muscle in the body. So as you're inhaling and squeezing every muscle, feel that effort. And as you exhale and release, feel that effortlessness. And then just doing this a couple more times. And then you'll be coming to rest there, effortlessly being. Or being effortlessness. Now start to notice sounds around you. Notice individual sounds just moving from one to another. Notice the feeling of the body. And then notice the feeling of the breath. Just start to make small movements in the body. And maybe having a stretch to slowly wake yourself up. If you're lying down, you'll be spending a little bit of time lying on your side. And then as effortlessly as possible, you'll be pushing yourself up to seated. And then just rubbing your hands together. Try and generate some warmth before resting your palms over your eyes. And then rubbing your hands together again. And then resting them over your heart area. And then just try and allow the hands and the heart area to sort of feel like they're merging together. And then really feel into that space. And then from that place, give yourself thanks for taking the time out of your day to practice yoga. And thank you.